My name is Danica Williamson, and I help out with performing arts here. Just in case you do not know, we have events here at the Art Center, performing arts events, all year long. So I just want to encourage you to pick up a newsletter on your way out and come back and join us for all of our exciting events. I do want to announce one change. Caitlin Barclay would like to add In His Eyes to her program from Jekyll and Hyde by Frank Wildhorn and Leslie Hughes. And that will be at the end of our program, right after the light in the piazza. If any of you are not familiar with Senior Honor Recital, this is our 41st annual Senior Honor Recital. These 4 students were chosen as a result of a competition that happened back on January 31st from a panel of 3 judges, and the competition was between local area Sheboygan High School seniors. So these 4 students were selected for you today for this exciting recital. I'd like to thank the long-standing support of the Sheboygan Music Club and the Sheboygan Music Teachers Association. They will be here with us today presenting the honorariums. And after the program today, we'll have an on-stage interview, and we'd like to invite you to join us in the Art Cafe for a brief reception. So please, you're welcome to join us. One quick housekeeping note, please silence all cell phones and electronic devices. And let's welcome our students to the stage.
spark of creation. I am a keeper of the flame. We think all we want is a lifetime of leisure, each perfect day the same, endless vacation. Well, that's alright if you're a kind of crustacean, but when you're born with an imagination, sooner or later you're feeling the fire, get hotter and higher, the spark of I don't see a miracle shining from the sky. I'm no good at statues and stories. I try. That's not what I think about. That's not what I see. I know what the sunlight can be. The light in the piazza, tiny sweet, and then it grows, and then it fills the air. Who knows what you call it? I don't care. Out of somewhere I have something I have never had, and sad is happy. That's all I see. The light in the piazza, the light in the piazza. It's rushing up, it's pouring out, it's flying through the air, all through the air. Who knows what you call it, but it's there. It is there. All I see is, all I want is tearing from inside. I see it now. I see it. Everywhere, it's everywhere, it's everything and everywhere. Fabrizio. The light in the piazza, my love. I sit and watch the rain and see my tears run down the window pane. I sit and watch the sky and I can hear it heave a sigh. I think of him, how we were, and when I think of him, then I remember. In his eyes I can see where my heart
things out of order, so it doesn't really matter because I'm last. So I'll be starting things off with Tornado by Mitch Markovich. And it's interesting to see how I can turn the snare with all of the accents and how it feels like the tempo was lost, but it's still constantly there into the feeling of a tornado. So I hope you all enjoy. Dynamic contrast. And also for these, I won't be playing with music. It was either be blindfolded or no music, and there's no budget for the blindfold, so I went with no music. So we'll see how this goes. joke for this part, so imagine I just said something funny. But we will now be going into Philly and then Ain't It Rich, because that's the way that it goes. It sounds better that way than saying I'm going to play Ain't It Rich and then play Philly. Like I said, didn't get that far. Basically taking out what Buddy Rich did. He's also a famous drummer, much like myself. But, so yeah, this is a little excerpt of what he does, and hopefully I can give him some credit. Sponsored by Lipton Green Tea. You don't have to laugh, these jokes aren't that funny.
afternoon filled with wonderful music. And now we'll do the presentation of honorariums. Please welcome to the stage Joyce Conradi of the Sheboygan Music Club and Tricia Martin of the Sheboygan Music Teachers Association.
On behalf of Sheboygan Music Club, it's an honor and privilege to present awards to these talented young performing artists. They represent the fine music we have in Sheboygan County, and they are a testimony to the excellent music teachers in our community who are nurturing and guiding our young people today, enriching their lives with music for years to come. First we have Caitlin Barkley.
On behalf of the Sheboygan Music Teachers Association, I would like to present our two honorariums. I don't know, Brian was kind of running, but they do involve a $200 check, so I think they might want these. And what we would like to do is really thank all of the performers for their very hard work, and also thank the parents who ran them places, paid for things, got accompanist, scheduled everything, all of those good things parents do. So thank you to them. And I'd like to thank the young performers for inspiring the next generation of musicians in our community. So I present this award to Caitlin Winkler. Martin again, and we're going to talk just a little bit with the young performers. They're very inspiring. It makes me want to go home and practice. So I have a few questions for you, just normal everyday stuff. Now today, when we were outside, it seemed like it was the very first day of spring today. And so I just wondered, if you had a choice of anywhere to live, would you choose a cold climate like ours, or would you run for fun in the sun?
Probably cold. I like snow.
Oh, she likes the snow in April.
Heck no, give me palm trees any day.
I would definitely go for the warmer climate.
Warmer climate, that's why I'm going to school at Iowa State.
That's right. So, I understand that the Senior Honor Recital was not the only big event this weekend. There was this wedding over in Great Britain, you know, some people. And so, I'll have to admit, I did record the wedding. But I just wondered if anybody got up in the middle of the night and watched.
I didn't. I had school the next day. Ditto.
I have to admit that I didn't even know that it was going on until everybody came and was talking about it the next morning.
The funny thing is, this question backfired because I did watch most of it, and I watched part of it with my mother. So there we go.
I figured since we had 3 girls that it would be okay to ask this question, so this very much backfired. Well, when I watched the wedding on recording the next day, I was really impressed by the number of musicians that were involved. And they even had an original composition by John Rutter performed for the wedding. So I wondered if you all were interested in being performers at such high-profile events. And I'll start this way.
I think that would be an amazing experience to have, definitely.
Be a thrill to play for a historical event such as this wedding, and it would be something that your kids would be able to talk about.
Absolutely. There's so many people that I'm obviously watched it. And we're there, so in person, so imagine how many people you'd be able to touch with music. That's amazing.
I agree with Caitlin. I would love to perform in a big area like that for the reason.
So, let's start here. What do you consider the best part about performing live for an audience?
Definitely the reactions. You get done with a piece and you look up and you see people smiling, you hear little laughs once in a while. It just really makes it all worthwhile.
I love how when I perform live, I can feel energy from the audience, and I like the reactions too.
I'm kind of the same answer. I love, getting feedback from the audience and also the adrenaline that you feel performing in front of people and taking chances and putting yourself out there.
When you're out in front of the crowd, you know that you're not nervous, you know the piece better than the rest of the crowd that's there, so if you screw up, the chances of them knowing is very minimal, and it's just a fun experience because you can't pirate things that are live.
Beautiful. What is one of the main differences when you perform in an ensemble? Because all of you perform in instruments that can be in groups. Now, I'm a pianist by nature, and we like to be alone a lot of the time. So I always ask other people, what's the difference between being a soloist and working in an ensemble? And I'll start with Brian.
Soloing with drums and percussion is very hard. You don't see very many people going for finger cymbals for state. So percussion is one of the things where it does sound better with an ensemble. It really accents the other pieces and you keep the tempo for them.
I think it's a lot more difficult to perform in an ensemble just because when you're performing a solo, you can make the mistakes and change up things a little bit, but when you're with an ensemble, you all need to be on the same page and working together. And sometimes, depending on the personalities in the group, it's a little difficult.
Well, for me, I play bassoon, and the bassoon part in an ensemble is very boring. And for a soloist, you just get to have your own strategy to the music, and you get to perform the way you want it. And like Caitlin said, you have to follow certain aspects of your conductor when you perform in an ensemble.
I'd have to agree with Caitlin. It makes it a lot more difficult, but that's why it's so much more fun. There's so many more elements you have to think of. You have to make sure that what you're doing is not only matching up rhythmically, but stylistically. You have to get the whole shebang together. And it's a wonderful experience. I love performing with ensembles.
Thank you. Okay, now share with us your reaction to when you found out you were selected for the Senior Honor Recital. How about Katie?
It's gonna sound really funny, but when I found out, I started jumping up and down in my living room in front of my family when I had the phone next to my ear. And my parents thought I was crazy, but they understood why I did it.
Well, I didn't actually find out right away. The night of the auditions was a massive snowstorm, thank you, Wisconsin. And
Warmer weather.
exactly, palm trees. And so our phone lines were down or something was going on, so we didn't get the call, and then the next day was a snow day. So the art center was closed. A couple days go by, and I actually found out through an email. So, reaction? Woohoo!
Well, out of the people that participated, there always has to be a drummer, so. But no. I felt good, but then when Caitlin, she goes to the same school as myself, when I found out that she didn't, I was wondering, well, she didn't hear it yet, I was wondering how I would have made it if she hadn't have made it, so. You're welcome.
Whenever I find out about something really exciting, I don't get excited until the day before that I actually go on. It takes me a while to realize, how cool something actually is. So my mom was crying and all excited for me and everything, and I was just like, awesome.
Well, it's definitely awesome. So for most musicians, practice does not necessarily come naturally. So I'm wondering, did your parents ever have to make you practice?
For me, they did. When I was younger and I started, I didn't like to practice at all. And they would say, "Hey, Katie, it's time to practice." So I would be pushed into a room and made to practice. Yeah.
Never. Actually, yeah, a lot when I was little.
I was wondering about
Yeah.
that.
As I've gotten older and music has become a bigger part of my life, just becomes kind of part of the daily routine. You just kind of do it. But when I was little, it was, Caitlin, it's time to go practice now. Where's your flute? Go get it out. That kind of thing.
Because of the fact that I'm a vocalist, I'm basically always practicing if you go to my house. Or the windows are open on a nice spring day, you'll definitely hear me wailing all over. So I don't think my parents ever really had to make me practice singing. When I used to play the oboe, though, I was not good at making a routine and working on everything when I was younger.
For practicing in my house with percussion, there's two factors. One, the parents say, we're paying for lessons, you need to practice. Two, you start to enjoy practicing more as you get older, but percussion is loud, there's no way to be quiet with it, so, as my parents love to say, you play just too darn loud.
So do you practice in the basement and have your parents invested in soundproofing?
Yes to the first and no to the soundproofing.
All right. Another question is there a time that you thought about quitting? And if so, what convinced you to keep going? I'll start with Brian.
You don't quit drums.
I think sometimes I get really frustrated and angry that things aren't working out exactly how I want them to, but I don't think I've ever wanted to quit altogether because it's just so rewarding when you actually accomplish what you've been working toward.
I had my sophomore year where I had a really hard time with bassoon, and I was getting very frustrated because I had a difficult piece and I had never played a really hard piece before. And then I went to state solo ensemble for it and got a 1. And after that, I kind of thought about it more and I was like, you should keep it with it. And then that night, I actually saw a bassoon soloist in front of the Sheboygan Symphony, and it was very enjoyable. So I was like, I could do that someday.
Beautiful.
Never really quitting, but there was a phase where it was just kind of like, oh, here we go again, flute, woohoo. Didn't last very long, which is a good thing. But I can't ever imagine giving it up now.
Well, I'm so glad that the 4 of you here have decided to keep going. And I also wanted to ask, what are the most encouraging words said or actions taken by somebody in your family to encourage you in your music study? Because I know that families do so much for students who study music. Nobody's jumping. Caitlin.
Well, for starting out drums at first, I didn't have a drum set. I practiced on magazines laid out on a toy box. And my parents, since I know that they love me, bought me my first drum set.
Santa Claus.
We still believe.
Tomato, tomato. But irregardless, they still fueled my passion for it, and they've helped me every step along the way, encouraging whether I was good or bad. But parents and family always help you through, and that's all there is to say.
Your parents are the people that are always encouraging you, no matter how biased they are. They're always going to tell you that you're wonderful and that you're better than everybody else. My mom always tells me that she doesn't like songs unless I sing them. So, and also, I guess just like having the patience to drive me to auditions and do everything else, and having to listen to me, talk about how upset I am about something and listen to all my little issues that I have.
I agree with Caitlin and Brian both. My parents, when they bought me my first bassoon, well, actually my only bassoon, it really told me that they cared that I was going into music, and for them to push me over and over again, even if I really wanted to stop what I was doing, they kept pushing me to where I love what I do now.
First words of encouragement as far as music goes that I remember my parents saying was in 4th grade, after 5 years of begging to let me start flute lessons. Okay, fine. And it's just grown from there. I mean, my whole family really. I went to a flute festival yesterday in Madison, and I'm the only flute player in my family. My parents are both trumpet players, and my little brother is a phenom trumpet player. So for them, it probably wasn't the most fun thing to do yesterday. Michael especially, thanks for putting up with that. But they're always there for you. They're always backing you up. If you mess something up, there's always next time. They're always there pushing you forward.
I think the parents need a hand. So the last thing I would like to do is ask each of the students an individual question, starting with Brian. I read in your profile that you enjoy walking along the beach, and you mentioned you were going to Iowa. So I'm wondering, how are we going to deal with this? Because there's no water in Iowa, not like Lake Michigan.
On campus, they have a very small pond that they call a lake. So I'll just kind of strut around that a couple times.
Seriously though, I read in your profile also that you worked to become an Eagle Scout, and I wondered what your Eagle Scout project was and why you chose it.
My Eagle Scout project actually took place here in Sheboygan. Behind Pigeon River, I helped reconstruct a nature trail, put signs up, and have lesson plans so the teachers can actually teach nature out in nature to have a richer experience of it, since with the Boy Scouts, I'm also a nature counselor.
Marvelous, thank you. Caitlin Barkley, in addition to performing for our senior honor recital, I understand you'll be traveling to Los Angeles as a part of the second round of Classical Singers Magazine's high school competition. I really did look that up. So how did you hear about this competition?
I actually got something in the mail, and I think I had gotten one the year before, and I just kind of threw it away. And I was in performance mode, I guess. Like, I really wanted to just try a lot of new things and get new opportunities. So I went online and signed up for it and everything, and then I went and did my preliminary audition in Chicago.
Marvelous. The other thing I would like to know, was the line as long as it is for American Idol?
No, because they were scheduled auditions, so they were throughout the entire day. It was a little intimidating because you could hear they were singing in a chapel, so you'd be sitting outside and then listening to the person before you. And there were some, there's also a professional round, so the person that went before me was like a master's student somewhere, and I was a little intimidated.
Well, congratulations very much, and the best of luck later this month in Los Angeles.
Thank you.
And Katie, you are a girl of many instruments. In addition to the bassoon, I hear you play the oboe, the saxophone, and you also sing. So I thought I'd ask you what you consider to be the best thing about each of your instruments.
I just like them. I like double reeds a lot. Obviously, I play the bassoon. If I didn't like it, I would have quit a long time ago. And I just like, after middle school, I picked up instruments over and over again, and now I play a lot, I guess.
Thank you. All right, Caitlin, you are in the, I was in the National Honor Society when I was in high school, but I didn't know anything about a Spanish National Honor Society. So can you tell us a little about that?
Well, it's kind of the same thing as the National Honor Society. You just speak in a different language. It's basically for mostly upperclassmen, high schoolers, who really kind of take to Spanish. There's a German National Honor Society as well, so really take to a foreign language.
Every day.
And it's just kind of an opportunity for people who enjoy speaking in different languages to get together and talk about things, experience new cultures, that kind of thing.
Beautiful. So as our last thing, I wonder if you could thank everyone for coming to the show and let them know about the refreshments out in the Art Cafe in Spanish.
Gracias por venir al concierto y por favor van al café para unas comidas.
Beautiful. Another round of applause for